What is up, everybody? Welcome to Movie Rewind. And what Movie Rewind is, guys, it's just me taking a look back at some of your favorite movies, maybe your not so favorite movie. The only criteria I have that's set in place is that the movies are 2 years or older. Taking a walk down memory lane, a walk to remember. You get it? A walk to remember. Now, A Walk to Remember came out in 2002, basically about a teenage love affair, or teenagers who fall in love. Lyndon, Jamie, blase, Jamie, blase. Mel tells it probably better than I do because this is Mel's favorite movie. So Mel, tell everybody what A Walk to Remember is about.
A Walk to Remember follows the rite of passage of a jaded, aimless high school senior who falls in love with a godless young woman he and his friends once scorned. The two develop a powerful and inspirational relationship in which they discover truth that take most people a lifetime to learn.
All right, so let's get into A Walk to Remember. Let's go. A Walk to Remember, as I said, came out in 2002, starring Mandy Moore and Shane West. Now, at the time, I certainly did not know who the heck these two were. Still don't. Now I know who Mandy Moore is. And then Shane West certainly made a name for himself after this movie. And you can see why, just by watching this movie, those two have chemistry throughout this movie. And I guess it's probably one of the movies that just makes you cry. And you'll find out why if you haven't seen it already. But if you haven't seen A Walk to Remember already, what you doing, what you waiting for? Let's just go through it. All right. So the first scene of this movie, we get Landon with his bad friends, bad influences on him. Basically, they're waiting for Landon. Landon pulls up to this park or water, cement, something. I don't even... Factory. Factory. And basically, they're going to get this kid who wants to be friends with everybody, who wants to basically join the club of misfits. Named Clay.
Of the cool kids.
Yeah, pretty much. And they're gonna really initiate Clay into this club, right? Mm-hmm. By one, pretending that they're about to jump off this thing into the water. Mm-hmm. And Landon is gonna be the one to do it. So Landon goes up there with Clay, and of course Landon's like, I'm gonna jump. Clay, you're gonna jump. Blase. So Landon is like, we jump on 3, 1, 2, 3, jump. And Clay ends up jumping, but Landon tricks him and doesn't end up jumping. And so that just means that they are just some ruthless kids. It was so mean. Lo and behold, Clay ends up drowning. And meanwhile, while Clay's drowning, everybody else is panicking. And then eventually the cops are coming. So everybody's panicking more, and everybody decides, well, we're going to leave before we get caught. And Landon, being the guy he is, he ends up saving Clay from drowning completely and dying, obviously. Takes him out the water. And then, of course, he has to ditch the whole thing before he gets caught himself, but he eventually ends up getting caught anyway by the police and injuring himself in the making of Runaway. Mm-hmm. And then, moving forward into the movie, we see Landon at home. We find out, well, he's just living with his mom, who's basically a single mom at this moment because his dad left his mom, and his dad's like a well-known doctor,
cardiologist
doctor. And we get that Landon doesn't really like his dad because, well, he left his mom. Of course, what would you? Of course, of course, he's not gonna like his dad. Their relationship is estranged, should I say. He doesn't have a good relationship with his dad at all. And his mom is just basically just telling him, you should call your dad. Call him. And he's like, yeah, no. I'm not calling that man. And then moving forward, we get Landon, at school, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Into the principal's office.
Exactly.
Because he got busted.
Yeah, because he got busted. And the principal tells him his punishment is basically the tutor, and he's going to be in the drama club, basically in the school spring play. Mm-hmm. And then, then he has to help Janet out as well. Mm-hmm. Basically going to be Landon's punishment. And then we see how Landon's friends, because we meet Jamie. Well, we met Jamie in a church scene before we see Landon in the principal's office. We meet Jamie in the church scene, and she's singing. Mandy Moore showing off her singing skills, especially in this movie. Mm-hmm. And so we see how Landon's friends treat Jamie at school, how they make fun of her, saying, basically making fun of how she dresses and
nice sweater. Everything.
Yeah, nice sweater. Talk about her sweaters, the sweaters she wears. Mm-hmm. And then we see Jamie's character. And by character, I mean we see her personality. And we see that she has like a snarky comeback for one of the kids. Like, she doesn't really care. Like, you can make fun of me, but I'm gonna come back at you and let you know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then next, what would be the next scene, Mel?
Next scene will be when he is on a Saturday. He has to go tutor at the sister school. Mm-hmm. So he's like tutoring this young boy. He's trying to explain or help the boy to understand the math problem. But the boy was like, this is bull. He gets angry and he walks off. And he said, yeah, I feel that, something like that. And then it goes to the bus scene where he's about to go home. He put his headphones on the music, and then you see Jamie looking at him. So she goes, sits next to him.
Tries to make conversation with him.
Tries to talk him to buy some raffle tickets so they can get Jefferson's new computer. But then he seems annoyed because he don't want to listen. And then he thinks that he knows her by saying she's a good girl and stuff like that. And then
she sets him straight.
Yeah, she does.
What did she say? Can you remember what she said?
She said, please act like you don't know me. Please don't act like you know me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then we see Landon at the play practice, or so I say the spring play practice, and he's just doing horrible.
Oh, yeah. Horrible. Because he thought he wasn't going to be able to act or anything.
No, he thinks he's not going to be able to act and remember his lines any. Mm-hmm. And then, long and behold, at the practice, Landon doesn't have a ride home. I think he's waiting for his mom.
He was waiting for his friend.
Or his friend who doesn't show up. Jerk face. Yeah. So he has to get a ride from Jamie. Mm-hmm. And then I think in this scene, this ride home with Jamie, I think you can see how that these two characters are kind of bonding. You can see that he's becoming kind of more interested in Jamie, you know, like he's kind of feeling her a little bit. And he just doesn't want to admit it to himself, but you can see it. You can just see it. You can see it in this scene. This is where it starts. Well, actually on the bus scene is where it kind of starts him kind of like feeling Jamie, actually like, oh, okay, I kind of dig this girl. And then on this ride home from the school play practice, you see it grow a little bit more. And then moving forward, Landon goes to Jamie's house, right? I believe. No, this is at school. It's at school. Yeah. So at school, Landon approaches Jamie and asks her for help to remember his lines for the play. Because if he doesn't do the play, then, well, he has to do the play. Mm-hmm. And basically, She's like, okay, fine. I help you on one condition. And what is that one condition, Mel?
Please do not fall in love with me.
And the way she says it, she says, promise you won't fall in love with me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he laughs.
Exactly like
He
that.
said, I promise.
He's like, yeah, no worries there. I ain't falling in love with you. All right. And then we see moving forward again, Landon goes to Jamie's house. And, you know, in order to practice their lines, he goes over there to run lines. Mm-hmm. And, of course, we see Jamie's dad, who is the Reverend. Mm-hmm. We didn't mention that yet. Jamie's dad is the Reverend at the church. And so, of course, Jamie's dad does not like Landon. Thinks he is what, bad news. Very, very much bad news, which Landon is at this point. I mean, you can just tell by the people he hangs around. Yeah, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And then, what happens after that, Mel?
They're like talking because asking, the dad doesn't really want him to come over, and she said, I'm just helping him, he's bad news. And stuff like that. So he comes over, and then the dad approaches Landon and was like, I forgot what he said, but they're like talking, and then Landon's like, oh, thank you for having me over, and he's like, I didn't.
Okay, so after that we see Landon sees Jamie at night going into the cemetery, and he's like, why is this girl going into the cemetery? What's going on? And Landon follows her, and then we see that Jamie has built herself a telescope, which she's been working on since she was 12 years old. Crazy.
Or she built when she was 12.
Well, she built when she was 12. Yeah, built when she was 12. Yeah. I even have it in the notes, built when she was 12. I don't know why I said made when she was 12. Or made since she was 12. And she's looking at the stars and everything. And yeah, they have a moment again. This building up. I love that about this movie, how you see this love story just building and building and building. It doesn't just happen like that. It's good. It's just good. And then what happens after that, Mel? What you got?
Is the next day at school. She approaches Landon, was like, see you after school.
See you after school.
And he's with his group of friends, and he's like, in your dreams. And then she walks away.
And then, of course, Landon goes to her house and is like, I'm sorry. She was like,
he rings the doorbell. It's like, Jamie, come on.
Oh, yeah.
And she opens the door.
Basically, he's saying, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. And then he was like, you gotta like read my mind that we can only surprise. Basically saying he want the people to be surprised. And then she was like, oh, so like I can only help you if no one knows. Right. And then she's like, okay, read my mind. And then with a serious face, and she closed the door on him.
Say it again.
With a serious face, and she closed the door on him.
Okay. She didn't say nothing when she said read my mind, did she?
No, she said read my mind, and she had a serious face.
All right. Gotcha. All right, and then we get this little montage of Landon making progress with the tutoring, with learning his lines for the play and everything, and he's doing a pretty dang on good job. He's making progress for himself. He's building himself, you know, to be a good tutor, to be a good actor, and everything. I love it. And then we see Clay go visit Clay, and then we see
Landon.
How many times did I say Clay? I wonder if I'm. And then we see Landon visit Clay, the boy who he almost got killed. Anyway, and Clay tells him, I don't know why I want to be your friend, Landon, but still, I don't know why I still want to be your friend, Landon, but I do. And I think that just speaks to the person Landon is. And deep down inside, you can see, everybody can see the person he really is inside, and you know, this good, genuine person, good guy, but except Landon himself. And I think that's what everybody is trying to kind of convey to Landon, but he's not seeing it right now. And then after that, we get the play scene. And we see Landon actually is doing a great job in this play, which he really is. And then we see Jamie come out and she's singing her little song, "To be yours someday I pray." Okay. Yeah. It's one of my favorite ones. Okay. The scene's actually really good because Mandy Moore can really sing. So that song is like really catchy. And that's probably like one of the most talked about, I wouldn't say most talked about scene from this movie, but one of the most iconic scenes just because of that song.
That's my favorite scene.
Mine too, low-key, mine too. And then we get Jamie and Landon. After Jamie finishes her song, Landon has an off-scripted kiss with Jamie, gives her a little kissy kiss. Everybody sees it. They're like, whoa, what's going on? And then we see the next day at school, everybody's is giving Landon backlash from smooshies from everybody's giving Landon backlash from kissing Jamie on stage. And then we get Landon's friends just realizing that Jamie is changing Landon and they don't like it, of course. And then I mentioned that Landon has a girlfriend named Belinda.
Ex-girlfriend.
Get into that part. He has a girlfriend named Belinda. Then they break up or whatever. He eventually breaks up with her.
No, they're already broken up, but she just didn't get it.
Yeah, at the beginning they broke up. At the beginning of the movie they break up, basically.
No, they're already broken up.
I could have sworn there was a scene where they just break up at the beginning.
No, they're already broke up, but he said nothing has changed.
Okay, gotcha. All right. And then we get Landon actually going full force and trying to woo Jamie over, which he had to try too hard. But so he goes to Jamie's house and basically gives her a gift. What was that gift?
He gave her a pink sweater.
A pink sweater.
Which the dad is not happy about.
Gosh, no. And so once Landon leaves, the dad tells Jamie, boys like that have expectations. And
she's like, Dad, it's just a
it's
sweater.
It's just a sweater. That girl is not just a sweater.
She thinks it's just a sweater, but low-key, he's feeling her.
Very much so. The dad knows. The dad sees. She just can't see it. I think she does. She just doesn't want to realize it. She just doesn't want to realize it. And then moving forward again, we get good old Landon's ex Belinda is setting up Jamie because they decided to make this flyer of Jamie and put Jamie's face on this model's body, and they hand it out to everybody at school. And so Belinda befriends Jamie, acts like she wants her to sit with them in the lunchroom. So they go to the lunchroom, and then Jamie realizes this is just a ploy so they can just pick on her and make fun of her and bully her about this picture on the poster or on the flyers that they handed out. And then we see Landon just actually stick up for her with Dean, with this guy named Dean,
his best friend.
He ends up, punching Dean, one of his best friends, to stick up for Jamie, which is really nice because Jamie was crying.
More like a anxiety attack or something like that.
Yeah.
Panic attack.
Pretty much, yeah. I would cry too. And then, of course, we get Landon driving Jamie home, and Landon basically asks Jamie if he would. Landon basically asks Jamie, "Will you go out with me?" And she's like,
"No."
She's not allowed to date.
Yeah.
No.
She said, "No, I can't." He was like, "Oh, do it for another day." She's like, "No, it's not that. I'm not allowed to date."
Okay. Well, ask your dad. Well, he doesn't tell her that, but he goes to ask the bishop, her dad, and the bishop's like, "No." And then we see eventually he changes his mind because the next scene, I don't know how they just ended the scene with the bishop. I don't know how Landon does it, but
it's because
he said, "Give me
have faith."
Have faith, yeah.
Because what you teach every Sunday here, have faith.
Have faith, amen. And I guess that changes the bishop. I guess that changes the bishop's mind.
Reverend.
Huh?
Reverend.
Reverend, whatever, Bishop, Reverend. Changes his mind so that because Jamie and Landon are on a date the very next scene. And they have a good little date, you know.
Yeah. She's saying, "Oh, this is a really nice place. Is it okay?"
Right. Yeah, they have a really good date. They have a cute little date. And then moving forward, we get Jamie talking to her dad, and Jamie's dad.
No, you skipped the part at the date.
What?
The most important thing that they kiss, and then he says, "I love you," and then she just looks at him, and he was like, "This will be a good time to say something back," and she said, "I told you not to fall in love with me," and then he kisses her.
All right, now moving forward, we get Jamie's dad telling her that her behavior is crazy. Like,
Childish.
What are you doing? It's childish. What are you doing? And Jamie tells her dad, "I'm in love with him."
Oh no, he's like, "You're behaving like a child." She was like, "I'm not a child." He was like, "Then come clean to him."
Yeah. Come clean to him, and we'll see what that is later. If you already watched the movie, you already know what it is, but we're just going to save it for now. All right, so then moving forward again, we get Jamie and Landon looking up at the stars in the cemetery from Jamie's telescope. Landon, of course, before this, a couple of scenes before, we did have Jamie telling basically her bucket list to Landon, and she never said number one. Right. So at this moment, Jamie finally tells Landon her number one, which is to get married in the church her parents grew up in. Right. And so, of course, then we get Landon at home with his mom, and his mom is like, "Wow, this girl's like really changing you," basically. Landon's mom's like, "This girl's really changing you," basically, and it's, what's up? And then Landon tells his mom about his goals, that he's actually made a list.
Oh yeah, that she found a piece of paper when she was doing laundry.
Oh yeah, his mom finds a piece of paper when she's done his laundry, and it's Landon's goals for his life that he's written down, which is basically good. It's basically his version of the
like his ambitions
and vision board. And he wants to be a doctor, basically. This would be it. And his mom's like, "You can't do that," basically. Like, okay, whatever you say then.
No, she said, "You can do it." And he said,
she said you can do it.
You have to put the work in. He's like, "I will."
That's why she kind of down him a little bit, because she don't believe that he gonna put the work in, knowing her son. Oh, he also says it's different with Jamie.
Oh yeah,
his mom doesn't believe him.
But then once he's like start talking more about Jamie, you can see the mom's like, "Oh."
And then we get moving forward. Then we get finally we get the scene of all scenes, the most famous one where Jamie tells Landon what's up, because Landon was talking to Jamie about colleges, and then of course Jamie tells Landon, "I am not applying to colleges because I'm not going." And at first Landon thinks, "Oh, okay, you're gonna take a year off. I get it, no problem, no worries." And then eventually Jamie tells Landon, "I have leukemia, and I was diagnosed 2 years ago, and now I stopped responding to chemo, stopped responding to basically anything that can help. I stopped responding to treatments." And Landon is devastated. Landon is just so devastated. He doesn't know what to say, lost for words. Upset.
He was upset. Upset. "Why didn't you tell me?" She was like, "Because the doctor said I should live my life. She didn't want people to be weird around her, especially him." And then they get into a little argument. She starts crying and she runs
away, which I get. I totally get. And then we get Landon desperate to get Jamie some help so she can live forever. Go to his dad, and his dad's basically like, "I am," what kind of doctor is he?
He said he doesn't know her.
What kind of doctor is
He's a cardiologist, but he said
he can't help her basically.
Yeah, because he doesn't know like her treatment, or she has to talk to the physician.
Right. All right, and then we get Landon going home to his mom, and he asks his mom to show him how to dance so he can dance with Jamie. And then Landon and Jamie share a dance at Jamie's house. It's very pretty, very beautiful, great moment. And then we get Landon going to Jamie's house when Jamie's in bed, and Landon's about to build her something. Mm-hmm. What the heck is Landon building, Jamie? We're going to find out in a second. Mm-hmm. All right. And then we get, of course, Jamie passes out because he's really sick, of course. And they rush her to the hospital. And Jamie and her dad share a moment in the hospital. Can't remember what he said, but anyway, they share a little moment. Jamie gives Landon her mom's book of like poems and quotes and stuff, which is very near and dear to her heart. Then we get Landon sharing a scene with his dad saying thank you as well. So Landon and his dad share a moment, and they kind of make up a little bit. I'm guessing they kind of make up, because it doesn't really show Landon's dad too much after that, I guess.
Just like in one part,
but I'm guessing from that part it just means that they kind of just reconciled, made up a little bit. And then we finally get the reveal of what Landon was building for Jamie, which was a telescope, so she can use outside her bedroom
to see. She had mentioned something to see something that comes.
Something like that. But really so they can see the stars. And Jamie, being the smooth criminal he is, he was like, oh yeah, I named a star. I got a star named after you. Those are on the telescope as they're looking at it. Smooth. Landon was actually kind of smooth. He had a bunch of great romantic ideas for Jamie. Good gracious. This boy here, man. This boy here. All right. And then, of course, Landon tells Jamie, I have this great idea since you're going to die soon. We should...
No.
I will stop. I'm bad, y'all. I'm sorry. I apologize. He says we should get married, and then they get married at Jamie's parents' church, which is her number one thing on her bucket list. And I thought this was a very nice gesture. Very romantic gesture. This is just, man, this kid Landon here, this boy, 5-star man. This dude is like a true romantic. This boy just knows how to just do it, man. This man. Romanticizing. He was really romanticizing the heck out of Jamie. Like, I could see why.
He really loved her.
I can see why homegirl fell in love with him, though. I can see why. Homegirl fell in love with him like homeboy. But then, of course, the movie has to, of course, end. And, well, this movie ends on a sad note, of course, because we get the information at the end that Jamie dies, of course, of leukemia. And then we get Landon coming back 4 years later into the future to visit Jamie's dad, to give Jamie's dad, Reverend, the book
from his late wife's,
from Jamie, which was Jamie's mom's quotes and Jamie's mom's favorite quotes and poems and stuff like that. And the dad just loved the gesture. And of course, also we get the fact that Landon graduated, or what did he happen?
He's in medical school.
He got into medical school. And Jamie's dad is very proud of Landon. And he says, of course, Jamie would have been very proud of you as well. And then the end. And it's wow. And then what a movie. What a movie. What a sad movie at the end. It starts very beautiful, should I say, a very beautiful movie. And of course, the sad, it just makes you cry every single time you watch it. Because as many times as I watch this movie, I wanted to cry every single time Jamie dies at the end. Even though I know she's going to die at the end. It just, that emotion of those scenes at the end with Landon and the wind. Because earlier in the movie, we see Jamie saying, what did she say about the wind?
She says, I can feel the wind, but you can't see it.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, you get that payoff with the wind scene of Landon saying, I can't see Jamie, but I can feel her, which is the wind. Right. But very, very great movie. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, Walk to Remember, definitely recommend it. I think this movie is really not too flawed to me. But of course, they could have done a couple things better, obviously. But overall, I think this movie hits the nail on the coffin of what exactly they wanted to accomplish in making you be all in your feelings and having this great love story, which I think is what they did. Basically, kind of like a Romeo and Juliet, and then bad boy, bad girl. Well, not bad girl, bad boy, and good girl, of course. Good girl likes bad boy, obviously. So, Mel, what did you think about this movie?
I love the movie. Like, there's nothing wrong with the movie. It's a little romantic movie about a guy falling in love with a good girl, and then the good girl changes the guy until he discovers she's like sick.
Okay. Yeah, pretty much. Know what happens from there, right? And so, Mel, what rating would you give this movie?
I give it a 10 out of 10.
You give it a 10 out of 10? Wow. Okay. And I got to say, there's not much I did not like about this movie. Honestly, I really like this movie. I just wish one aspect of it, I just wish that I don't know, maybe I wish it was kind of longer in a way. I felt like I wish we got more scenes with Jamie.
Like towards the end after they got married.
Yeah, towards the end to see what that part was like. And for that reason, I'm going to give it a 9.5.
I'm still going to give it a 10 out of 10.
But I like this movie too. Really great movie. We recommend you watch it. It's really great. Let us know, guys. What do you guys think of the movie A Walk to Remember? What rating would you give it? Do you love the movie? Do you not love the movie? Let us know down in the comments, all right? You got a movie suggestion in mind? Make sure you guys leave a movie suggestion in the comment section. Just remember, make sure the movie is 2 years or older, and hopefully we'll get to rewind it.